I feel like I'm always filming in the car, which is honestly kind of fun for me. It's crooked. Okay. Yellow. Honestly, it's easier for me to film in the car because I'm alone. Like, it's weird having these conversations and like documenting your life when your boyfriend is sort of like loitering in the background, like go away. I am heading to church. I'm gonna try, this is only gonna be the second church that I've tried. Probably like, fourth church in my lifetime. So I'm not like nervous, but like kind of. I think like when you roll up to these things alone, my worst case scenario is that like everyone's bombarding me and like, trying to recruit me. I think there's something in my eye. I think the reality is like that's not gonna happen at all. Okay, what's in my eye? It's probably not gonna happen at all. They're probably gonna be so inclusive. They're gonna be so welcoming, like come on in. And so my whole thing is that I just want to get a sense of, I guess like the sermon, what they're preaching. The whole point of me to go to church is to strengthen or even establish my relationship with God. That being said though, like I have like really strong beliefs already. Which I'm sure that they would say is the Antichrist working through me. What's in my eye? Look at this. I woke up with this today. It's never happened to me before. So I don't know what it's from. I was like, can onions do that? From, cutting onions and crying? Like, I don't think so. Okay. My biggest barrier to entry with the church is that I still fundamentally, and maybe I'll be maybe I will learn a lot about the church, and the more that I learn, the more that I'll be able to understand it. But right now, my outsider's perspective is a bit like, you have to do as we say or you don't go into heaven. And so for me, that's like fear-based. And I know that everyone would be like, no, it's all about love. And yes, like the loving aspects are why I'm going. I want to fortify more of that in my life. But this whole, do as I say, you are a powerless person, you are just born a sinner. I struggle with that a lot because my belief is that we are made in the image of God. And so like he is the ultimate creator, but we also are creators. And I'm not trying to say that I'm a God or that you're a God, but I am saying that like we are his children. And so I believe that we all go to heaven because that's just where we come from. And what we do in this life is more about us expressing who do we want to be. So like if you want to be an evil person, go for it. And honestly, there's so many like arguments and movies and like propaganda around how is evil even created. Most often than not, like evil is just a product of your environment. If you have had evil perpetrated against you your entire life, it's going to be pretty hard for you to be peace loving and kumbaya. You know what I mean? Some people are, of course. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent. All that to say is like, I struggle with the whole, you're already a dirty sinner. You need to repent. And if you don't completely give yourself over, so like throw out critical thinking, throw out your own intuition, throw out your own like eyes and experience and just do as we say, and then you're saved. I struggle with that. Like, I'm just being honest. And I know maybe a lot of people either understand exactly what I'm saying or, believe that Satan is working through me currently, I don't know, but I do know that I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. And that's a start. Every single time I've gone to church in my lifetime, I've always felt good. And so we're just going to go with that. Like, we're going to trust our overall feelings around things. Sometimes we need to just like let our feelings lead and actually override the brain, especially when it comes to spirituality. So said another way, let's be a little bit heart-led. Okay, we're going the right way. So I hope it's going to be wonderful. My most favorite part is singing. I hope that there's some fun singing. I'm absolutely tone deaf, but like, that doesn't stop me. Okay, well, I better get there. So I'll talk to you later. Okay, the short version is like, I really enjoyed it. Okay, I really enjoyed it. It starts off with like 3 or 4 great songs, and they have a live band and like a grand piano. And my voice is actually a little bit hoarse because like there's nothing I enjoy more than singing as like loud and heartfelt as I can. Caveat, I'm completely tone deaf, but like, as I said, no one can hear me, so that's fine. When you're singing like these like loving songs and like talking, like singing about gratitude and love and all of this stuff, I like almost broke into like the ugly cry 4 times. I was like, hold it together, Candace, hold it together. Cause like, you know, I'm not doing that. I'm new. Like that's so embarrassing. But it's like, it's overwhelming, the vibration of love. And that's why I love going.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
That is so healing to me. And it's this sort of unconditional love that you're singing about, and everyone is singing about it and everyone feels it, and it like, it makes me want to cry. And then I was, yeah, so I held it together, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to see if I can try to like summarize what the like key message of the service was. And keep in mind, like, I don't know the key players. I don't actually know what they're talking about. Like, I don't really know a whole lot, but it was essentially, I think it was Paul. They threw him in jail, and while he was in prison, he made some prayers. And the whole point was about like how he prayed. It was all about not determined joy, but basically saying that in the face of a lot of darkness or negativity, or when things seem incredibly bleak, the way that he prayed was in so much gratitude. It was called Defiant joy, like so much defiant joy and so much gratitude, because he knew that no matter what would come of this, he either was going to at some point be released and people would follow him or follow his word. I don't really know. Okay, I don't know the whole history there. I think he's a disciple. No, that can't be right. He's one of the main dudes. Prophet? No. That's embarrassing, but you know what I'm saying. Apostle? I don't know. It was that he knew that no matter what happened, only good awaited him. So either like his word would spread and he would have more people following in the footsteps of Jesus, or he was going to be meeting Jesus through his death. How I translated that for me was this essentially like trust in everything is working out the way it's supposed to. And I have this motto, which is only good will come of this. So when I'm in a bad situation, sometimes I'll throw up a little prayer to my angels or whatever and say, show me the way, where it's like, I wish for the highest good for everyone involved, myself, everyone involved. I want the highest good. And so when you trust that everything in your life is actually going to work out, you're exactly where I'm supposed to be, I find in my own terminology is that you very quickly can alchemize a quote unquote problem and come up with a solution pretty quickly, because that problem is in your life to most likely teach you something, to show you what you don't want, so to realign you into what you do want. And so I really appreciated that message. And, you know, he then brings it back to sort of modern day times and what that means for you, and gives examples of sort of hardships that people can go through. And especially when he talked about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which just happened, which is devastating, and how that sort of highlights a incredibly dark, I don't even want to say mentality, and he did say ideology, but essentially he was saying, like, from a spiritual perspective, there's, you know, love and understanding and discourse, and then there's something that's the complete opposite. And in this past week, especially highlighted with the Charlie Kirk murder, it really started to weigh on people's souls. And what I took away from this, which I actually had already kind of got to going in to church today, was, you know, the last thing I'm going to do is hate people who are celebrating that murder. Like, said another way, when things get dark, that's when you need to like double down and be even more kind, even more loving towards your neighbor, loving towards yourself. And in the darkness is when the light shines through. And it is not a time for us to allow ourselves to be emotionally manipulated into behaving in a way that might feel good at the time, but certainly is not contributing to unifying our beautiful humanity, essentially. Because I wanted to say nation, but it's like, does it even matter? It's like, no, we're all humans. That's what I took away from it. I'm so excited to go back next week because, again, like, I love the singing. I love the love vibration. I'm learning a little bit about the key players in the Bible and what that means. Sorry for basically totally messing up who we were talking about and all that stuff. Forgive me. And then the best part was that at one point they say like, oh, like introduce yourself to someone you've never met before. And so there was a gentleman who was sitting like 4 seats down from me, and he was so nice. He's from Nigeria. He just moved here with his wife. Anyways, it was like, I feel like we had like instant chemistry. We like got along so well. We started talking about like current events and what Jesus means and all of this. And it was just such a like a fruitful conversation. And most importantly, it just felt like I was like, oh my gosh, I made a friend. I made like a church buddy. I'm really happy about that because being on the island, I don't really have a lot of friends. All of my friends are in the United States. And that can be incredibly lonely and isolating. And like, I have my boyfriend, but like, you know, we live together. Oh my gosh, I just realized, like, are we living out in sin? We'll cross that bridge when it comes, okay? One step at a time here, my goodness. Oh, and the one download I got when I was singing and listening to everything is the first thought I got was, I swear too much. I say fuck a lot. I use fuck as an adjective. I don't mean it to be derogatory. I honestly use it for like emphasis, you know? I was like, okay, I'm gonna work on reducing that out of my vocabulary by at least 50%. I still think it's fun, and I don't think I'm ever gonna not say it, let's be honest, because like I said, you know what I mean when I say this fucking so-and-so almost cut me off. Like, you know, you get what I'm saying? Where I'm just like, gosh darn, this guy almost cut me off. It's not who I am. I just, you know, maybe one day. Those are all my takeaways. I loved it. I'm gonna go again next week. I made a church buddy. I almost bawled my eyes out singing loving hymns. Okay, I'm almost home. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Honestly, I'm so glad I went. I'm so glad I went. So